Hello, my fellow weirdos. Since it's a topic that's getting closer and closer to all of our neighborhoods, if they haven't already gotten to yours, several days ago, I got a nice alert that they were about 40 minutes causing trouble in Ruckus and Highland or something like that, New Jersey. About 40 minutes from me. And, oh, do you like my new, here, look at what it says. Mexico and Canada, of course. There are two of our four of the five eyes, and of course ours. I was looking for one that had the Statue of Liberty and the flag with the flag upside down, but any of the ones that they do make were out of stock. Only one place makes any like that. So, I want to... She's yelling. Yeah, Raspy hasn't acting right yesterday and today. What you can do, obviously, if you're a person of color, get the fuck out of sight. If you see anything that looks like a bunch of ICE people conglomerating somewhere headed, your way. If you're a person of color, if you're in the car, drive the fuck away. And if you're outside by your house, get the fuck inside and don't answer the door. Unless it's somebody who needs a place to get into. And by the way, anybody who sees this that's in my area, if you're my neighbors and I see that, y'all can go into my house, my apartment, okay? I'll be out there creating a ruckus. But I know you won't bother my cats. Just get in there and stay the fuck down, okay? Because, am I harboring? No, I'm not harboring, because let me tell you something. If they want to detain and for deportation illegal criminal, they should, by the books right now, the process is you have to have a warrant. And not those fake ass warrants that ICE likes to put out with some dude's name, and it's got to have an actual judge's name and the stamp signature and their signature, okay? And who it is. So you can make sure that's a fucking actual judge. Because if it's just signed by, John Doe and Harry fuck you, that's not a legitimate warrant. And it has to have specific people's names on it. Specific people's names on it, okay? Actual names of specific people. It ain't a fishing fucking competition, ICE. Okay? It is not. You're trying to get the fucking Supreme Court to say, oh yeah, you could racially profile. They brown or they landscape and they must be illegals. Fuck you, ICE. Okay? There's a big old 16 by 20 canvas painted on both sides, two different fucking things that says basically, let freedom ring, fuck ICE, I think it says thaw ICE, and immigration built this nation, stars and stripes and equal rights. Basically are what the two different sides say. Got the pride flag and the autism flag out front. And I just added a little... Oh, I forgot to do that. I'll take a little video tonight. One of those little round things with the 4x6, the little flags. And I've got an American one in the center. I've got a Canada, Mexico, Ukrainian flags. And then I've got Greenland and... I'm missing one. But, New Jersey's flag, because I'm in Jersey. I mean, I'm going to fly my state and country flag, But I have them small because they don't, they're out of the weather, though. And, So, if they can't show you a warrant, then it isn't legal. Let me tell you something. I know for a fact. I was a corrections officer. That's considered law enforcement. Even corrections officers had 3 months, 12 fucking weeks of training. And you had physical fitness, and you had law knowledge, and you had rights knowledge. You even as a fucking corrections officer in a goddamn prison, or even the jailers had to. I don't know what to be a jail person, but I know as a corrections officer, which are the state prisons, not the jails. Um, Jails are before you get a sentence, or very quick if it's a very very short, a month or a couple weeks or something sentence. But usually it's prison once you get the sentence. Now if a freaking, they used to call them prison guards, has to do that much training, I know motherfucking ICE has to do at least that, and they ain't done that. You know that. I know they don't get all the written tests. We had to learn how to do basic life support for infant, child, adult, how to do Heimlich, infant, child, adult, how to do all of the different basics. They're fucking the ones causing the issues and medical crises and things like that. And they don't even learn how to treat that person that goes into a fucking seizure or something. They just keep yanking on them to get the fuck up and then say they're resisting arrest. They're motherfucking seizing on the... I don't know if you saw that woman. She's motherfucking seizing on the ground. The guy's trying to arrest her. Are you motherfucking joking me? Fuck no, and fuck no. Okay? You've hide your face, most of them. Even if they don't have the face. I saw one that says Officer Guy or Officer Name or something. I'm like, you ordered a fake name tag shit, and you didn't even put your name in. You know where it says officer's name? So you just supposed to put the officer's name. Yeah, I saw a video with one guy that just, it said officer's name. Tells you how smart they are. First of all. First flag. Red flag. So, no warrant. You can't show. First of all, you ain't going to show me your face. You have to have, even officers in prisons have badge numbers. Y'all have a badge number, okay? Firefighters have a badge number. Yeah. So if they don't give you a name, they don't have a badge number. You want to play games? Badge 007 or some fucking crap like that, like the play badge shit. Okay? That ain't a real. You ain't a real law enforcement. I don't have to obey shit you say. I don't have to listen to one fucking order that you say because you're not a legitimate law enforcement. So, ICE alert! ICE alert! I mean, abso-fucking-lutely. And you have the right. Especially if you're taking photos or filming. Preferably if there's more than you doing the warning, one should be filming, one should be taking photos, and the other should be calling the police and letting them know that there's masked, unidentified, plateless, badgeless people that won't tell me anything, but they're trying to abduct people, kidnapping people, and throwing them into plate, and they've got weapons, and you know, we don't know who these people are. They're abducting our neighbors. I don't know what's going on, if it's a hit or... You're allowed to say that to the cops because you don't know what they're doing with them. We don't, so it is not a lie for anybody who's like all Puritan about being honest. That is honest. You don't know they're cops, so you can't say they're being arrested. They're being detained by unidentified, masked, armed people. That's all they need to know. That's all the cops need to know. That's all you know. Um, Definitely alert each other, or alert neighbors, especially ones that you know, without pointing out, you over there on the next, you know. But we need to fight this. Okay, I just put you on hold so I could pull this up so I can read it to you. It's a flyer I got on one of the groups and on social media, and I made it into a graphic, so you know it was smaller. It didn't have to be expanded. You know, you could just read it as it came up into your feed, um, and with a little more attention grabbing and cohesive. I do that with some things. Some things are my own, and some I change. So I'm just going to read this. What to do at a nice checkpoint, especially if you're white and feel the need to jam up the works. I do. White citizens, we have a level of privilege which protects from retaliation for ICE for being rude and making a scene. Well, white people aren't completely right now, but much more than anybody else. We'll put it that way. Okay? It makes it a duty for us white folks to speak up and make sure people without the same privilege know their rights. Make sure. Get loud. Yell. Yell in Spanish if you know it. Let people know they don't have to say shit. Make ICE uncomfortable. Throw sand in the gears of white supremacy. It is perfectly illegal to record immigration agents as long as you're not on government property or at any port of entry. If your train or your bus gets boarded, pull your phone out and start videotaping immediately. So if they come into like an apartment complex and they all start to swarm this particular courtyard, I have every right to film because I live on this complex, and if they don't have a warrant for any specific people, then they are the ones that are illegal here, conducting abductions without any warrants for anybody. That's illegal. And I would make sure to call my apartment complex after the cops are called to make sure that they know, because you know what, the people that work in the front office and the maintenance and stuff, they live on complex, in this complex. So I would definitely have somebody calling the main office, calling the maintenance off-duty numbers, while somebody's calling the cops while I'm filming and announcing. Have somebody filming, have somebody calling the cops, have somebody calling the complex, the maintenance and security and stuff, and the main office, the off-duty, the off-hours number, because that would be an emergency. So they're aware of what's happening on their complex when it's happening. And watch ice thaw. Watch them melt into a little motherfucking puddle, because at my complex, they're not inviting. And the complex really isn't very favorable to Republican policies, let's put it that way. I wouldn't necessarily say they're Democratic people. I mean, they own many complexes across New Jersey. It's not just like, my complex has 75 buildings. It's like big, okay? It's huge. It's massive. I've never lived in garden apartments this fucking huge, to be honest with you. And that's not unusual. We're in Jersey here. I mean, in this area. There's a lot of us. But they still make it like a courtyard. A lot of them, like it's friendlier. At least this complex does. It's devoted a lot more of the area to some of that communal stuff. It doesn't have irrigation, but it's the communal greening, just the natural, that there's that bushes, shrubs, trees, grass areas, all non-irrigated, but natural. But it gives like each courtyard kind of feels like a cul-de-sac in a neighborhood, like that little cut-off, little mini neighborhood type thing feel, like when you all have a bunch of people in the cul-de-sac that are all decent families. Yeah, it kind of feels like that. And all the neighbors come down to the main complex in the summer at night with their kids for a few hours because it's cooler. And, it's like a perfect place for ice to occur, especially where I am at the main playground of the complex. That's why I'm so making sure I'm ready. I have my stun gun, I have my mace. They want to put hands on me and they don't want to tell me, show me, prove to me that they're any kind of law enforcement. I'll get a zap in beforehand and I'll just say, I was scared to death. I thought they were just coming in and trafficking people and they were just grabbed me. They said, leave me alone. I said, you're not going to traffic my neighbor. And they didn't say anything. And then they grabbed me. So I zapped him. I thought he was going to hurt me and traffic me. I mean, they don't have the cards like Donald told Zelensky, but all along Zelensky did have the cards. He was planning, remember that drone strike? When Donald was sitting there insulting him at the Oval Office, telling him, you don't have the cards. The whole time, Ukrainians were plotting and planning that. I mean, weeks and weeks later, when it happened, I'm like, girl, he did have the, because they were reporting on how long they'd been planning it. And, then people started realizing, girl, they were planning it when he was being insulted by Trump at the White House, being told he doesn't have the cards, when he did. And he just sit there like, I know we don't have the cards. When he did have the cards. And he played it, well, he was an actor, he played it. Donnie lapped it up. Oh, I embarrassed him. But yeah, embarrass. And if there are any ICE agents, I'm not going to say officers, if there's any ICE people that you run into that especially are of color, shame them. Use like that one neighborhood that they all were filming, holding up their film. Somebody was filming everybody holding up their phones, filming them, advancing one step, going shame to the well, they had cops, but they had the National Guard and everything. So I'm not sure. It must have been. No, it wasn't the National Guard. It was just the ICE people, and yeah, I think it was just yes, because it was on a hill, yeah, and the neighborhood was just like shame while they were filming. I was like, oh, that was so good. I just watched one where the woman's she's just a vicious little warrior. She's just up in their face. She's not impeding on them. He's like, this is public space. Don't tell me I can't photograph because I know I can film. I want you to know I'm filming. Yeah, I mean, she's just up there. Why are you taking him? What's his name? Where's the warrant? Why are you taking him? Where's he going? Who are you? How come you don't have your license plate? What's your name? What's your badge number? How come you won't answer me? What's yours? Why are you doing this? Shame on you. You're a person of color. Shame on you. Do it like you have the authority, because guess what? You do. They are illegitimate, that's illegal law enforcement. They're cosplaying being cops. All those little couch fucks that would watch cop shows and westerns pretending that, just like people the guys that watch sport and they act like they made the score. Yeah, all right. I'm like, you didn't do anything for them to get it. You could be celebrating, but you're like, I knew we could do it. You did nothing. They could do it. You did nothing. It's kind of like the same, deal. A lot of those ICE people are guys that would be all there watching like The Rookie, Thinking, I can he was a working cop at 40, and you look at him, he's kicking ass and taking names, man. They love him. I can do it too. Ice people? No. 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 You can't be the rookie too. And I'm talking about the TV show, not the movie, The Rookie, you know, with what's his name? The cop show I'm talking about. Nathan Fillion. A bunch of those fucking people that are ICE now, they saw that and they thought, oh, look, it's like a fucking character, dude. Not very many can start a cop career and kick ass from the get in their 40s, starting. Never before did anything in the military. It's the movies. Yeah, it's the movies, guys. Y'all thinking about going to ICE and all that glamour? Yeah. You know what he's done? Oh, the National Guard. The National Guard. You know how he has them occupying D.C. to reduce the crime? Well, there's so little crime from the get-go that from the start, they have them wearing those reflective vests that, like in the parks, and have them picking up the garbage and, with the bag and the hip. You know what I'm saying. What? Oh, there's people that do that. Well, there were people that did that job all across the country. But see, those people, they were like in the Park and Recs department, but they were like through the National Park Service. Right, yeah. And he cut all that, huh? Alt National Park Services, they told, yeah, they've told us about everything. I mean, they've slashed to like, what, 20% of what they had, maybe? I don't know. Drastic. So, yes, that all trickles down to the little places. And so these National Guard should be at home. And they're getting paid for being on special assignment. And that special assignment is cosplaying for Donald so he can pretend that now there's very little crime because of what he did, but there was very little crime when he put them in there. Thus, he got them to pick up. Now they're doing garbage patrol, and that's because there's nobody doing the garbage patrol because, oh yes, Donald and the Republican fired everybody. So, if you're a parent or your significant other or your child is one of those National Guards being deployed for being fill-ins for Donald's, oops, I fucked up again, plan, so it doesn't look like he fucked up. If anybody you know is on those details, maybe you might want to complain a bit to your local government or your members for the federal. Yeah. Oh, you're Republican? So then you approve of your loved one being treated this way and just not having them around. It's okay for them to be indignified and picking up garbage when they actually should be at home with the family. That's okay with you because it's not even politics at this point. You know that, right? It's what's humane and what's inhumane. That's what's correct and what's wrong. You know that. I know most of you know that. You just don't want to admit that you were conned for 10 years. You just don't want to admit it, a lot of you. So are you going to continue not to resist what you used to support? Just like so many did with the Nazis in Germany. You gonna do that too? Because our grandchildren their kids will read all about your name, and trust me, all of you, we will make sure as many of your names, even if you are just ardent supporters, are down in the annals of history. That the party of pedophiles, the groomers of pedophile party, the GOP, is responsible for the decline in 2025 of America. And if you don't want to be down in history, because trust me, people decades after found war criminals from Nazi war criminals. They were like, well, they're 90 years old. They shouldn't be on trial. They're just old. They're going to die anytime. No. Put their ass up there. They die of a heart attack on the stand. I guess it's crime. I guess their crimes finally killed them. I don't care. And believe me, after that, after Nazi, history of the world, they're not going to sweep away what happened. Trust me. So, if you have any bit of humanity in you, you would be fighting. I don't care if you prior supported. We need to fight ICE. We need to stand up for our neighbors who don't have the privilege. I have very little privilege. I have it just because I'm white, but that's it. I'm a woman. I'm older. They consider me useless because I've got some issues from accidents over time. So they just figure I'm worthless. I can't make them any Aryan babies. So I don't have... Oh, and I hate their guts. So I hate their policy. So, yeah, I don't have a whole lot of white privilege myself. But whatever I have is going to be used for those who don't have it. And I really wish more of you not only would make that promise that if it comes to your neighborhood or when it comes to your neighborhood, you won't be hiding. If you're white, that you will be announcing and warning people. Don't hide. Don't hide. That's covering your ass, but that's also cowardly. At this time, in this place, in history, there's no more time for just grabbing by the pussy footing around. There's no time for that anymore. You have to be bold. You have to go in there. You see something like ice going down? The hardest part is opening that fucking door and going out. Once you go out, the minute you open that door, you start screaming, "Ice alert!" Get it while you're still in your house. Get the momentum going. But you need to get out there if something's going on around your place. If nothing else, make sure you film for proof on how it was handled. But you need to start confronting them. Talk beforehand with neighbors that are also white, that you can provide a united front with 2 or 3 or 4 of us as opposed to one. A lot of times it just takes a couple of people, just 1 or 2 people, to stand their ground and absolutely fucking not. You are not gaslighting me. I know the law. I know the law, and you're lying. Just keep telling him that very loud. You're lying. I know the law. You're lying. You are lying. That is not true. Then let's go to court. You're not just going to come in here and take people and not expose who you are, what you want, what you're doing, who you want, for sure, who you are. Be bold, because we need bold right now, people. Put whatever you want by the door that makes you feel, something like this hat. hang it by the door. So something like that goes down, you grab your fucking, you put it on, and you're like, "Rrr." My megaphone is right by the front door. It's right by the door between the front door and the patio door. So, that's the other thing I thought of. I could go out on the patio, because that's right by the, as you guys know, by the playground, and with the megaphone, I could just be on the balcony. So what are they going to do? Drag me off my balcony? I'm just on my balcony. I'm allowed to make noise. If they think I'm disturbing the peace, the neighbors can call the cops. You don't live here, so you don't get to say if I'm doing it. You're disturbing the peace. You're disturbing my peace. I'm going to call the complex management. Yeah, because you're disturbing the peace by abducting and kidnapping people. I'm trying to be a little humorous, but I'm serious, guys. If you have any balls in you, and I don't give a fuck if you're a woman or not, because believe me, I got some balls, and seems the older I get, the more firm my balls get. I know, but seriously, it's like more and more I'm like, what are you going to do about it? Fuck you, ICE. What are you going to do? Freedom of speech. I didn't touch you. Oh, ooh, you're on my rented property. Ooh, you're in my apartment space. Would you please get off my sidewalk? That's my porch. And you're not welcome here. Neighbors aren't home, so bye. You can be nice about it. You can be bitch about it. Hey, I know the motherfucking laws. Don't lie to me. Don't try to fucking lie to these people, because I've informed them that you're liars, you know? You can just be passive aggressive. I don't care how you do it. Whatever your style. Before you walk out and do that, visualize, don't be laughing. Months later, you'll come back and say, oh, I used that in a situation. You're right, it works, even when I didn't feel it myself. You have to convince them that you fully believe what you're saying. If you say this, like when I was in prison and they're like, oh, they're towering over and I'm looking up at them, and he says, oh, you think you could take me on? I remember this incident, and I said, did I believe it? Fuck no. Did I have to sound like I believed it? Fuck yeah. Every inmate was in their cell. They all were watching. They always watch confrontations. Watching the inmates, watching the correctional medical people, nurses, correctional registered nurses, you know, and I'm trying to I'm trying to think about how to explain what went through my head. I thought, okay, you gotta look like you motherfucking this is all going through my head in a second. Y'all gotta look like you believe every motherfucking thing you say right now. So you better fucking sell it, girl. And so while he was saying, you think you can fucking take me or whatever he said, and I looked at him and I said, you think you fucking know somebody just by what you see? Do you look at the words to a book, or do you just look at the little pictures and assume you know the story? Personally, my heart was like fucking flipping. It was, to be honest with you now, decades later. I can feel how it felt right now. I was like, inside I'm all like hyperventilating. While I'm talking, and remember I had this like white hair, it's platinum blonde. So I'm like sassing up at him. Like a fucking 5'4" little biker bitch. And that's the image I found out that they had. But that wasn't me. It's just part of me, but that's not my natural go-to person. It's there if I need it. And that gave me a lot of giggles driving for an hour and a half home that night when I found that out. That was hilarious. Because this guy was big. I mean, a lot of, well, you're 5'4". Everybody's big. About. But you gotta find that. And if you have to practice him, I know you're gonna laugh, but if you need to practice just here, practice in the shower, or whatever, just practice in your room, whatever. You need to do it in the mirror to see what an intimidating look, what you need to do with your face to make them look like you're not acting. I don't need to do that. I just have to make sure it comes out sounding right. Because my brain works, it's like skipping ahead. So it's like I'm memorizing it, but not. I'm just remembering, don't say this, or say this, which is alliteration. It catches their attention. Little things like that you can use for words to catch people's attention. If you go, what a lovely lacy lingerie, people are going to be nice, and they're going to be like, oh, what? As opposed to somebody saying, oh, that's sexy nighty. That's like, you're blasé to that. But if somebody says, that's a lovely lacy lingerie, you're like, what? You see what I'm saying? Because words matter. But you can practice that with being intimidating and not really saying, I'm going to fuck you up, but pretty much saying, go ahead. I'll fight you in court. Bring it on. Because I know I'm right and you know you're wrong. So if you need to practice it, because even if it doesn't happen where you live, in your neighborhood, you might be someplace where it happens. They're rolling up into parking lots, and they're going into fucking businesses. If you're a business owner, or you work in a where you work, let your boss, or if you're the boss, just put like private entrance, employees ask management permission needed, or something. Then ICE can't just walk in. If it's something's designated private area, for just employee or whatever, they can't just walk in. They can't. That's all it takes. You don't have to have any. You just say, you're not allowed to just come in here and harass my workers and upset my customers. No, my clients, no. And they have that right still in America right now. So make sure you make use of it, not just to retain our America for our rights, but right now our people of color brothers and sisters need us. I mean, they need us, white people. I'm serious. I mean, it sounds, and I'm going, you guys are racist. No, it's just us white people are the ones that are least likely to run in afoul and into serious issues with this corrupt Fourth Reich administration. That's all it is. And it has nothing to do with no, because they're trying to usurp the Constitution, and people like you and I are going to stand up to them and refuse to allow them to do things that are illegitimate, because they have not been capable of changing those laws yet. And until they do, they are still on the books as under authority. I don't give a fuck what they've changed. If it hasn't changed in the Constitution or in that particular state's laws, I don't give a fuck. He can write every goddamn executive order he fucking wants. 90% of that shit he was supposed to go through Congress with. And if he wants to skip fucking Congress and the rules, we have to play on the same motherfucking field. But the fact is, we still would be playing on the original fair is fair rules, and that's the rules. That is still the law of America. The things I've said. They are not allowed. They're not allowed to do some of this shit. What was the other stuff? Just a little bonus. If it is perfectly legal to record immigration agents as long as you're not on government property, like I was saying, or at a port of entry. If your train or bus gets boarded, I told you, pull out your phone, start videotaping. If you're detained or see someone getting detained, for you white people, get the agent's name, number, and any identifying information. Get it on video if possible. Also, you probably won't, most of them won't, so you also need to get them not responding. Say, well, they're not answering. You need to get that on video, that they're not answering when you directly request identification. You're in my neighborhood. I want to know why. Who are you? How do I know you're not traffickers just pretending? I don't know that. That's exactly how traffickers do it. They from what we've seen, they come up and they just take over and they make demands and they say this is the rules and the laws on the cops, and then they're gone. And then we find out later the person was raped or murdered or something, and it wasn't them at all. So yeah. Contact aclu.org or your local immigration migrant support orgs if you see somebody's rights being violated. So even if they weren't successful or they got hassled off or whatever it is, report anything that you see. Any kind of issue like that, even if you don't live where it is, like I said, make sure when you get home, you write that shit down as much as you can by observing. And when you get home, you go to aclu.org and you make that report. If it happens in a place that it's not where you are, when you get home, just call the police from the whatever town that you were in where it happened. You were at a Walmart, you were at whatever. When you get home, make sure you let them know wherever you were that had happened, and report that you got video or whatever it is if they need it. You really need to do this, because remember, when they get tired of, they used all the people of color and all the people that aren't on a program and all the people that they don't like religiously and all the people that are black and then all the Polish people and then all the Jewish people, and then eventually you're going to fall into a group that they're targeting next. And then if you've allowed them to take all the people from all the other groups that you didn't fit into, who the fucks do you think is going to keep them from doing the same to you? Because you didn't fight for any of them, so you let them take them. So now nobody's left to fight for you. You get how that works? You get how the whole village idea works there? So even if you really don't fucking care that much about others, selfish but still indirectly would behoove you still, because without them you're already starting to see immigration built this nation. And once you see it and realize it, and it finally knocks you upside the head, you might want to think about letting others in on the fact that they lied, they're gaslit you. Because your life does depend on it. And your children's lives certainly depend on it. And your grandchildren's or your nieces or your nephews' lives absolutely matter to it. They count on what you do. And if you don't do much, and a lot of you don't start doing. And the funny thing is, somebody like me, I'm never going to have grandchildren. So I should be one of the people least likely to give a fuck about what happens in 40 years from now. And some of the people with young kids who probably will also be having grandkids in the future, some of y'all don't seem way that concerned about stepping up until you absolutely have to. But if you're having to wait till you absolutely have to, then already the people that can speak up for you when it's your turn to be attacked, you've already let them be disappeared. So no one left for you to stand. I mean, even if it's for a selfish reason at this point, you need to all start protecting and speaking up. I don't know what else I need to say. I mean, if you don't understand that, you're not paying attention. You're not. And if you're not paying attention, eventually you will pay for it with your way of life. And you keep saying, well, I'm not seeing it that much yet. You know, there's cycles, like 3 months, 6 months. It's coming. So he just did shit out of his little tempered tantrum of a child. Don't shoot the messenger, but you better start moving. You better start fucking speaking up. You better start resisting loudly, publicly, consistently. Oh, and Republicans, what about those Epstein files? Come on, let's come on. We're waiting. Liars? Did you lie to us? So you either lied to us that they were there, we know they're there. So Republicans, he's backing you guys into a real kettle of stinky fish. You should do something about him.